I feel like I've completed punk now. I've been listening to it for 25 years this April, and I feel like I've heard all the variations, all the cliches, and all the classic tropes of the genre in all its guises. Despite this, it is still my favourite way musicians put the 12 available notes in the scale together, and I'm always looking for that first hit feeling like some punk junkie trying to capture the moment I heard my first punk band in the Easter of 2000, completely fresh and not burnt out by a punk's restraints. I'm gutted to say I've completely done a 180 and caved into Spotify now after making loads of videos about how much I hate streaming. And I've been going through the motions quite a lot, sitting through so many free chords and the truth bands I've never heard before that just aren't passing muster. Where are the bands that blew me away when I first heard them? Where have they all gone? Why is nothing moving me? I'm losing the faith in my favourite genre. So I was driving home from work yesterday. I decided to give Lambrini Girls a go with the album Who Let the Dogs Out, suggested to me by the faceless Spotify gods. I had no clue what to expect. Track 1 smashed me in the face with police sirens, the drum and bass Travis Barker transplants-esque backbeat layered with lo-fi yet incredibly loud and distorted guitar and bass, topped off by one of the best vocalists I've heard in a long time, screaming her head off about the corrupt police system. The whole tree is rotten, she insists, rather than a few bad apples. The scream of, "Officer, what seems to be the problem?" I can't remember the exact phrasing of the way she shouted it, but it was amazing. So the band drop out as she does it, and it's such a refreshing take on police brutality. That subject has been done to death in punk, but they make it sound new. This made me stop in my tracks and think, thank f***, I've not heard something this fresh in punk for so long. This is one of the most unique sounds I've heard for ages. The track finishes with an East Bay Ray fast and high one-note solo and some of the most venomous screaming you'll hear from any voice in punk. The singer cementing herself as a voice of a generation within 2 minutes. I was that impressed by Bad Apple and track 2, a song about just trying and wanting to do your job whilst your horny boss has other inappropriate intentions. I stopped at a petrol station to do some research on this band. Embarrassed, I'm so out of the loop because my 2-year-old just makes me watch Miss Rachel all day, and she's not punk at all. According to my research, Lambrini Girls are a 2-piece punk band from Brighton who formed in 2019, and this album only came out last week, meaning I had to give it a review. The 2-piece consists of Lily, I'm going to butcher her surname so I'll just call you Lily, on bass, and Phoebe Lunny on guitar and vocals. They're a bit like Aerial Salad, who only had touring drummers and never anyone official on the kit. Their current tour kit drummer is Misha Phillips. I don't know, what did they do before that? Did they use a drum machine? I'm not sure. Finally, being suggested a current band I've never heard of that actually sound really unique and fresh. I now know Phoebe Lunley is the name of this voice of a generation. She's 21% the singer from Petrol Girls, 14% the bloke from Idols, 8% Isaac from Slaves, 6% Steve Ignorant, 3% Eve Libertine, and 1% Polystyrene. I've no idea what that adds up to, but the leftover total is Lunny's own originality. The band is built around Lunny's off-the-wall lyrics about white knights, poverty, nice guys who go nuts the second you reject them, fake male feminists with ill intentions, starving yourself for perfection. Let me eat carbs! That's a classic line from this album. They also sing about people dismissing autistic needs as misbehaviour and nepo babies pretending they're skins. Lunny has a knack of being able to capture Britain in 2025 and its rubbishness perfectly. Lunny delivers her lines in a southern British accent, sometimes rapping / semi-talking in songs like You're Not From Around Here, and she sometimes screams like she's on fire in choruses like Big Energy, where she can be heard playfully experimenting with the phrasing of how to say the title, which is where the Lambrini Girls get their unpredictability. Another thing to love about Lunny is she often sings as the characters she detests. I'm a nice guy, so why won't you to me? It's a bit reminiscent of the way Jello Biafra approaches songwriting, littered with satire. But it's not all about the quintessentially British voice. Musically, the band are so on point from beginning to end. The Petrol Girls are the biggest comparison to make, but they approach their music in a funner, more quirky manner while still being able to deliver a serious, angry message. This should be filed with the likes of Idols and Softplay. Two bands with an equally southern, quirky late teenies they can't be from anywhere else other than Britain feel about them. The guitars are a monstrous, unapologetic wall of sound, a sound Black Flag's Greg Ginn would be proud of throughout much of the album, particularly with signature dissonant guitar solos on songs like No Homo. Bad Apple lured me into a false sense of security a little bit, as that was the only track with punk drum and bass. I could have had a whole album of that, but I was really pleased with the variety I was given. This album will see Lambrini Girls' stock grow tenfold. I get the feeling this will be the catalyst for them to get the success Idols and Softplay have amalgamated for themselves. Although saying that, I'm not sure which tracks on this album would be Radio 1 friendly. Maybe they don't want that anyway. After the first 2 songs, I decided this was the album of the year already 10 days into 2025. Then I got to the end of the album and believed it was still a serious contender. The Lambrini girls have rejuvenated my love of punk and give me hope for punk and rock music going into the future. I'm so glad that after almost 50 years of punk music, I am still able to hear ways in which it sounds totally unique. Maybe I haven't completed punk after all. I can't give this anything less than a 10 out of 10. It made me feel a certain way about punk music I've not felt for ages. It makes me keen to go back to the teenies and find all the bands out there who have passed me by over the last 15 years. 10 out of 10. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. What do you think of the album? Is it album of the year already? Which punk bands do I need to catch up with over the last 15 years? Please leave your answers in the comments. If you've never seen my channel before, welcome. It's lovely to have you here. I'd say about 84% of my channel is punk related, but I do make other videos about other non-punk performers and bands as well. So like and subscribe to become a disc burner. You know you want to. It helps grow this channel. Maybe one day I'll even branch out to do some more exciting things. Who knows? Thanks for stopping by. Cheers.